I'm just joking.
Wrong button. Yeah, there it is. Thank you. Thank you, all of you that are here. We thank you. I know your tickets are not cheap that you have bought to come in. And
Okay, here we are. We are live and direct. This is something we do every single Tuesday at 4:30. We go live. The reason, if you can't comment, is because it's for members only. It's really easy to become a monthly member and just participate. We do this. This is episode 20.
Episode 20.
Yeah,
Episode
duh.
20.
20.
Yeah, so we just talk about different things. I'm really interested to see what we're going to talk about today. And what else? What else? Anything else? I'm going to share something, but after a few more people go on. But Empty Tomb, how you doing? God bless you, brother. In Boston. Hopefully there's not too many drones above you.
Yep. Look up. Look up.
Yeah. So as you can see our night sky, maybe you'll see a drone behind us fly by.
Wave.
I almost wanted to fly my drone, but I was like, man, then they're going to have it on the news that there's drones in Modesto.
Yeah, but yours isn't the size of a Hummer.
No, mine's the size like this, like a little crab. Yeah.
Crazy.
They're not balloons this time, huh?
Nope, not this time. So we got some more people jumping in. So,
But at least the FBI is on it.
yeah, of course.
You know, definitely studying it out for the past few months, trying to figure out what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, they only have a few more weeks.
34 more days?
Yeah. They only got a few more weeks.
Because then the next pandemic starts on the 21st.
So because, actually, let's talk about that for a little bit.
But a pandemic?
No, that's boring.
Oh,
That's old news.
These drones, man.
okay.
It's kind of fun. Let's talk about that first. First time I heard about it was about a week ago.
About a week ago.
How about you guys?
Yeah, probably about a week and a half ago.
Hello, Carl.
Yeah.
Carl.
I honestly thought it was just another joke. I'm not. Yeah.
I didn't think nothing.
I bypassed it.
But the first 3 days, I'm just like, eh. But then it got more and more, and I started seeing some weird food. Here's the thing. Here's the messed up thing, though, is because once something becomes something, people will find old clips and throw it up. And so people assume that, oh, my gosh, like, what is that? And
visuals.
And it just gets a hodgepodge of just prison spread. You throw everything up in there. And so it's hard to know what is what, you know? But, so, I mean, what can you go by other than, I mean, I did see, you know, in the news officially people saying that they were the size of an SUV.
Yeah, these things are huge.
Yeah, they're huge. And, but after every day I'm looking, every day I get home, because that's when I watch news, when I get home.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get stuck on stuff all day. So me and Sharon say, let's watch a little bit. Let's see if the world is still going to be around when we wake up. So we kind of turn the news on at night. But each night it's like trying to figure out whether they found one of these things or not, or one got shot down or whatever. Yeah. My thing is this, I will say this, is that the first thought that came to my mind is if it was something foreign, it would not sound like a Harley, and it wouldn't have lights on it blinking exactly the way our airplanes blink. So that's, to me, that was a number one clue as to it was domestic somehow, some way.
Yeah, because they, as far as, from my understanding, on a basic level, as far as like planes or those types of things that you know that are flying, they have to have lighting as far as for signature, to identification of location. So if these things have an identification of location, because there's, I don't know what the term is, but as far as the lights, that again, if you're doing if you're doing a black op situation, you're not going to have the lights.
You're not going to have lights. That's what I'm saying. That's like.
And then, now, did you guys hear Trump's statement that he made yesterday about the drones?
I didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he basically said it's not foreign.
Yeah.
He said the military knows where they're taking off from and where they're landing. And he said, I don't understand. He didn't go into the detail. He just goes, I don't understand why why are they having this a secret to the public?
Yeah.
And so what that means, he didn't go too deep into it. But then there was some military YouTube channels, ex-military or current military, that were talking about how they use drones, and its system, the system fit to some of the thoughts that they were assuming as far as night watches, looking for terrorists, looking for
that's what makes more
different
sense.
Things.
I mean, I guess I'm not going to say that's what I believe it is, but I think it makes more sense. I think it is domestic. I think that my thing is this: it's clearly the government knows what it is. Clearly.
MT2.
Oh yeah, he's trying to send a super chat, but it says he already. Oh, no, must be the drone interference.
It must be the drone interference.
But what I'm saying is the fact that I think that my thing is it's clearly government. Is, dude, if there's people in hysteria over there, you got to say something more than we don't know what it is. Yeah, be real, dude. I mean, even if you can't be real, let's say it is classified. Let's say it's for our own safety, but say something different than what you are not saying. You know, come up with a good story.
A couple things here.
Yeah.
Murphy and law enforcement officials have stressed that drones don't appear to be a threat to the public safety. Federal authorities said Monday evening that the reported drone sightings have been identified as legal commercial drones, hobbyist drones, and law enforcement, as well as manned aircraft, helicopters, and even stars. Officials said that assessment was based on technical data and tips. Dozens of witnesses. This is what has been seen in New Jersey. Dozens of witnesses have been seeing drones statewide since mid-November, including near Picatinny Arsenal, a military research and manufacturing facility, and over President-elect Donald Trump's golf course in Bedminster. And then finally...
Because he said, he goes, I'm not going to Bedminster. He announced that he goes, I'm not going there. Because I guess he had an upcoming date because of that.
Oh, are they loaded drones?
They don't know. He's not going to risk it.
Yeah, because
I mean, yeah, I don't blame them.
I think he'd feel safer if it was a foreign drone than it would be this administration zone. I mean,
At
drones.
least he would know who to call. Huh? Monday, that drone detection equipment supplied by the federal government has yielded little new information. He declined. This is Murphy. He declined to describe the equipment except to say it was powerful and could even disable the drones, though he said that's not legal on U.S. soil. If something is flying around in the air, what legality do we need in the air in the United States? Whether it's foreign or domestic, what do we need it? Shoot it.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't, if the people in the towers don't know what it is, shoot the thing. Right? Where am I wrong?
Oh, man, I have to step out for a second.
This is the part to where we need to, I don't want to say not care, but we have to just do something where these people stop thinking they can do whatever they want. Yeah. I know what I'm trying to say. I know I'm not expressing it right though. Yeah. I just sound like, right now I know I sound like a rebel. You know what I mean? A guy who just wants to cause trouble.
As long as these drones don't start picking people up, and all of a sudden people start disappearing out of nowhere. Oh, where's Angel? They just picked him up.
Fire in the sky, dude. You know what I mean? So it's just like, Empty Tomb says, problem, reaction, solution. Yes, that's exactly right. So, I mean, who knows, right?
Yeah, Angel had to get a phone call, but he'll be right back. But there's some things that I have to not watch every video clip because some are like, dude, this was put out 12 years ago. Or so that stuff you can't pay attention to.
That's how come I thought it was a joke.
Yeah, you can't pay attention to that, unfortunately. And what sucks is even if one is real, it is so inundated or that you can't even tell. But I'll tell you what did seem weird and does still seem weird to me. I do think it's domestic. I do think it's ours. But as weird is the fact that why are they hovering only at night? Supposedly the sheriff, because local police are the ones that are lost the most. They're just like have no understanding, we see a clear break of communication between local government and government. Because you got local sheriffs. One of them took up a drone, one of the sheriff drones. They're big. Those things are like as big as this table. Took that thing up. He says this thing it goes 40 miles an hour. He goes, and as soon as we saw one and headed toward it, it shut its lights off and took off and going 60 miles an hour, these things.
Dang.
He goes, that's beyond technology that we even know is in existence for the speed of a drone. And the fact that, another thing that was interesting, that they can't use thermal heat on it because there's no heat signature on it. That is fact that they were saying, again, which is weird. And only one guy kind of talked about that, why he thinks they're not showing any heat signature. Of course, people freak out and they're like, that must be something from out of this world or this and that. But the fact is, he said this, I didn't know this. So this guy, I can't remember his name right now. But when I'm talking about these guys, I'm not talking about some random alien off YouTube. I'm talking about official people. And he says, he goes, I believe that they are searching for a weapon. And he started talking about a lot of warheads were missing out of the Ukraine back when the USSR fell. And he says that I didn't know this, but he says there are sensors in major highways, in major events like Super Bowls and stuff. There are sensors that can detect anything to do with the nuclear bomb. I didn't know that.
Like radiation?
Yeah,
radiation
he said
detectors?
They look for plutonium. That's kind of the main ingredients for it. And I forgot there's some other things that I didn't know about. But he said, so what makes me think is that they're testing these sensors on these drones to test. That's why there's no heat signature on them. Because he goes, they have to have some cooling system or something. Because those sensors, something to do with these sensors. He says that those sensors are everywhere. they're on highways that are in where there's a lot of people. He goes, what would be new is if they put them on drones. And so somebody took that video and said, well, it's crazy is, what if it's not them testing? What if they're looking? Mm-hmm. What if they're looking for something? And but yeah, that's pretty much.
Because that's the angle I heard some of the, as far as the military videos, was more of them looking.
Yeah.
And I think, and it could be that they're, as far as that they're testing, but the problem with that is the trust level of the public to this current administration and what they're doing.
Yeah.
The likelihood is like, dude, you're trying to mop up something that went wrong.
The worst part is when they try to talk like we're dumb. Like the first report from the White House, they're like, oh, there's nothing up there. What are you talking about?
Just birds.
There's nothing. And that's like a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Like, you really think we're that stupid?
This says White House National Security spokesman John Kirby said Monday the federal government has yet to identify any public safety, national security risks of any reported drone sightings in the Northeast. The federal government has deployed personnel and advanced technology to investigate the reports of New Jersey. And then down here it says speculation, who is operating the drones? Speculation has raged online, with some expressing concerns that the drones could be a part of nefarious plot,
evil ways, evil reasons.
Plot by foreign agents. Of course, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna look for the outlet, right? Mm-hmm. And so, of course, they're trying to mop up, as you say, Angel, whatever it is. It's just like what was it, a few months ago when Microsoft had their shutdown.
Oh, yeah.
Microsoft?
On the airports
Come
and banks.
on, bro. I mean, that didn't fool. If you really think that was, oh my goodness.
Oh, the power went out.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody kicked the cord.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, you're very naive. You know what I mean?
What was interesting is the very selective things that were shut down.
Yeah.
Airports, banks,
and hospitals.
Yeah.
3 necessities that we're going to be needing. And I've said this before. I don't know if I've said it on here, but I do. That's all for what we can manipulate when Mr. Trump gets back in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, even Patrick Bet David said, listen, man, I don't know what is happening, I don't know what's going on, but for sure have some cash on you. He goes, because if something like that happens again, who knows what's going to happen in the next 30 whatever days. Mm-hmm. Have some cash on you. Just have some. He goes, I'm not trying to freak people out or don't go and buy all the toilet paper or whatever. Yeah. I'm just saying, just be ready. It's good to be ready anyways, no matter what. There's something I've been wanting to get for the last 6 months. It's those walkie-talkies that are nationwide.
We've been talking about it.
We've been talking for 6 months about buying those. And they're pretty cool because they're actually programmed just for the people that you want. Mm-hmm. That way you don't have to search channels. It's automatically, unless, let's say you got one side of the family and then church family, then you can get 2 channels, Yeah. But basically, they use cell phone towers, but not the same frequency as cell phones. So, and it's not even talking about like complete breakdown. I mean, even remember when there's an earthquake, when there's things that happen, the phone lines get jammed. Cell phones don't work. So these walkie-talkies, you're able to communicate with people in all 50 states, like instantly. So they're pretty cool. It's something I've been looking at, and I've been wanting to get one. Actually, I haven't got a chance to. But they're a little pricey. We want to buy a bundle of 8.
Yeah.
I think it's cheaper.
Now let me same topic, but let me ask this question, because this is a conversation I think since the pandemic hit that's been an ongoing conversation back and forth, and it's the question more of what has Christians?
Yeah.
How should we look at or handle or react to, let's say, preparation mode?
Yeah.
Is that not having faith? What does faith? But you get what I'm saying in the Christian community, because there you have the Thessalonian church that's like, Jesus is coming, I quit. Let's just get the lawn chair in the front yard and let's just live life. Yeah, and Paul's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then you got Jesus' statement, Matthew 24, where he's like, hey, be prepared and hope it don't happen at winter, because when you see these things, run for the hills. And And so what are your guys' thoughts on preparation as a believer? You know, because it's not about being afraid, but I think even just in household stuff, I don't like having one bar of soap. Right? To me, it's just like, or have one little bag of rice. Like I've always bought 25-pound bag of rice, 25-pound bag. I've always done that.
I never have until COVID, not because of COVID, but because of people wiping out the stores.
Yeah.
So because of that, now I got in the habit of having more toothpaste. I'll buy the packs or things like, not because I'm freaking out, but because people go crazy and they buy all this stuff.
They freak out.
Yeah, because they freak out. So, I mean, I don't go excessive, but I try to, like, simple things like that,
Salsa, barbecue sauce, mayo. These are, important things.
They are.
Would you say salsa? Empty Tomb says the wise virgins kept their oil, right?
Yeah.
True. They didn't have gallons and gallons of it.
No, I'm the same way, man.
Yeah.
Ever since COVID, you know what I mean?
Because of other people.
It's other people.
Yeah.
It's and that's what it's gonna be. My brother was the one who was. This is way before COVID. He'd go to Costco, man, and buy four laundry detergents. And it's like, why are you doing that? Oh, they're on sale. And it's like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, do you need this?
So he ended up spending more than he would have, but
Yeah. And but come COVID,
yeah.
He was washing clothes.
man, dude, just like some of my friends, the way they were strapped with guns,
Yeah.
ready to sit in front of their front yard and make sure nobody came up on their yard. That's how he was. Like he could wash a block full of clothes. You know what I mean?
He smelled great during COVID.
He was, man, we're gonna be starving, but I'm gonna be looking popping.
Yeah,
So-
man. But the other thing is too, again, foolishness, toilet paper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a snob with my toilet paper, so I make sure I stay strapped and ready to go, man.
You know what's funny? Funny story about when COVID happened was
Don't tell me you're going to tell a shower story.
no.
Okay, because you're talking about toilet paper. So it's just.
So remember when nobody could find
I'm sorry, I didn't answer your question.
Purell?
Purell?
Oh, yeah,
whatever
yeah,
it's called.
Purell, yeah.
It was to
Purell
me. They
something.
dropped the ball. They could have made billions of dollars. Remember, and then all of a sudden you couldn't find that stuff for nothing for months.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, they dropped the ball. But anyways, nobody could find sanitizer, this and that, and it was nowhere in the stores. You couldn't find alcohol. You couldn't find nothing like that.
Yeah.
And so we're
Rubbing
just
alcohol.
Yeah. So I'm just like, you know what?
Yeah, because bars were open.
Yeah.
Not a joke.
Yeah.
So then I told Sharon, you know what? I know where we can find some alcohol, rubbing alcohol. I said the flea market. The flea market, right? Because
Yeah,
you go to
they
the
did
flea
come
market
through.
and you see
Yeah.
those people that have all kinds of shampoos and everything. Man, we went to the flea market. We found it looked like it was in a tequila bottle, but it was 100%
Dang.
rubbing alcohol. Rubbing like it's.
That's
I
at
can't
the flea
remember how to say
market.
it. It's, huh?
Yeah.
And we found everything we needed at the flea market.
Hey, man, I had to go buy Jubilee toilet paper.
What?
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, my heart goes
Big
out
Lutz.
to. My heart goes out to those people who need to use that on a daily, man. I pray for you guys, man.
Oh, was
to
that
have-
this? Oh, Jubilee.
Jubilee?
/ sandpaper.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh man, dude, I think sandpaper probably. Hey, dude, I could use that to like.
Oh, cleaned you all right.
Hey man, yeah, that's right. And then I can sand. I could grab that and sand my cabinets. But to answer your question, no, I don't call it lack of faith. I call it living in America. We are very fortunate. Again, a pastor years ago said, okay, so I'm a heart patient. I'm a fool if I just say, don't get me wrong. If you want to do this, go right ahead. Let me look at the camera and say this. If you want to do this, this is your prerogative. I'm not going to do this. I'm a heart patient. I need to take blood thinners for the rest of my life, okay? Because I have stents in my arteries, all right? So the thing about it is, the blood thinners then obviously do exactly what they say, for that way the blood will run right through and it won't cause another clogging in the artery, right? And so the thing about it is, I'm a fool if I don't take my blood thinners. I'm a fool if I don't take a couple of the medications I need to take.
Yeah.
Yes, I have Jesus in my life, and Jesus is the one I go to first. I believe more and have faith more in my Lord above me, who allows me to have breath than I do the medication. But I'm not foolish either. I'm very blessed that I get to take medication. So I just look at it like, you know what? I'm an American. I'm fortunate. I'm blessed to live here. So yes, I'm going to prepare with those little sausages.
Viennas?
Yeah. And,
I like those.
And some rice and some cup of noodles and anything. If we're going to be on a shutdown, we need to clog it up. You know what I mean? And so a lot of cheese. And
you know, it's interesting.
That,
what
so
you said.
yes, I don't think it's any less faith if we start to prepare. And the cash thing, it really hurts when I think about when you said it. The first thing that hurt was my heart. Because there's a lot of people who are check to check, and they can't do that.
Yeah.
And if the bank shut down, oh man, it's gonna be gonna be what we see in the movies, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. What were you saying right before that about
being an American? I'm very blessed to be an American. I can go ahead and buy, and it's not lack of faith.
about the medication.
Oh, yes.
Even Paul laid hands on the sick.
Yes.
But at the same time, he tells his closest student, hey, remember, drink a little bit of wine for your stomach. Because clearly he had some issues with the stomach. You know what I mean? So why didn't Paul just say, hey, let me lay hands on you? No, he says, hey, this will help your stomach. So to me, that's an extension of saying, hey, there's nothing wrong with taking this or taking that. Why do you think God created some of the stuff like the what is it, mint or whatever you can make tea from? Or my mom would get the like arroz con leche, but she'll get the water of it for, I can't remember what for.
Your stomach feels unsettled?
Yeah, things like that.
Get
So there's
diarrhea
things
and
that God has just naturally God made. And if we're supposed to just have faith and not do this, then why would God create it?
Right.
Things that would help different ailments, things that would help us in different ways,
Those salts, those just natural acids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, well, and here's the other thing too is like you're talking about like preparation. I was seeing brother Carl bought a bunch of seeds.
Yeah, very smart. Like
I've showed you my bag.
You told me about it.
Yeah, that I have of different variety of as far as vegetable garden seeds.
Yeah.
I have that prepared. It's set away. We've got drinking straws up to 20,000 gallons you can drink through.
I thought you were going to say 20 feet long.
No, we have those put away. Like as far as to carry with you. If
Like
you need to be
filters,
able with their filtered.
The filtered straws, the ones you can put in a toilet.
I mean, if you have to.
Oh, okay. You guys.
Maybe that's a whole different story.
No,
but
I'm gonna show you right now.
Oh,
go
gosh.
ahead.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
But I mean, yes, you can go out of a river. You can, whatever. All those. I would go out of a river before I drink out of a toilet.
Anyways, I'm sorry. I apologize. Please forgive me for interrupting.
But at the same time, all those different things like canned food. Those are things. I built shelves in our garage just because we could have as far as an amount more than just one or two cans.
Yeah.
And I just don't think. I think what it comes down to, it's not necessarily the preparation, but it's the reasoning behind it. That's the thing that it comes down to, because people are looking forward to the rapture because they can't deal with life and they're afraid.
Yeah.
That's the wrong side.
Dang, have you heard that?
Dude, look at people's lives. They might not say it, but that's what their life is.
Okay.
I hope Jesus comes. And
Empty Tombs says, catch me watching the drones drinking from a puddle tonight.
just be like the soldiers that get new, just lap it, right? Keep your head up.
There's no drones above Boston, is there? Well, I guess.
No, I've heard they're traveling all the way. I've heard all the way up to the Midwest.
Yeah.
But,
Well, I mean, then he should hitch a ride over here.
hey, they're big enough. They think they got a seat in the back. But no, I think it just comes down to the intent. And that's the part that's hard to judge, because somebody can actually have an abundance and be willing to share because of faith. And then there's others that are hoarders because of fear.
Yeah. I think that, again, man, there's a fine line. To me, there's a fine line of everything. But when you start saying, well, I'm going to build a 3-story underground this and that, whatever. I mean, I guess if you got the money, I guess. But if you start pouring everything out to the fact that you live your life around that. And that's all that matters. And you're not even enjoying food because you're so worried about the food you're going to put away, and there's no joy in your life now. And you're just paranoid. And then you get to the point where you don't want to leave your house because you have all these guns and food put away that, God forbid, you go to the
Somebody
mall
clean you out.
20 minutes away and something happens. So now you don't want to leave your house.
Yeah.
I mean, just at what point? Because I truly believe that the enemy loves to do that. He gets you all twisted up on something else. Remember, is sin is missing the mark. So if you're now worried about your sustaining life rather than the Great Commission, then what are you doing?
Well, what does Paul say? So he says, whatever you do, if you don't do it out of faith, it is sin.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So it comes down to the intent of the person, but sometimes that's hard to gauge.
Yeah.
But you can only teach that out through life, and it's up to them and how they're going to receive that.
Like, I kind of joke with people because I'm a felon, so I can't have no firearms. And people are like, "Oh man, you don't got guns? I got all kinds of guns, this and that." And I joke, I'm half joking when I say, "Well, dude, if the apocalypse really happened, there's gonna be guns around a bunch of dead people anyways. I'll have a collection within a couple days, And that's a half truth. But the other truth is this: I hear people say it, right, and they have no other plan other than a bunch of guns and ammo.
Yeah.
What are you going to do when a gang of 20 people come with guns wanting to take your guns and you can't do nothing about it? So you basically are gathering food and this and that for somebody else because I've watched Walking Dead. They're going to come and take it from you. There's going to be a Negan, and it's just a show. But the fact is, I think the reason that show hit so hard was because there's maybe not the zombie part, but the survival part. Because
I don't know, man. Go downtown. I don't know.
Ultimately, Walking Dead truly became that the worst enemy of man was man.
Yeah.
And seeing that scenario play out, I think that's why it made such a big deal, because there was truth in it on how it would be, because we would basically be back to tribal. And the strong is going to take from the weak, and that's just it. You can have 20 years of food stored up. You can have AR-15s. You can have rifles, bullets, this and that, whatever. But you know what? If I'm stronger, go ahead, dude. Spend all your money because I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
And so it's a fine line of that. To me, it's a fine line of that. And what's dumb is people right now on Facebook, every gun they get, they start showing it.
Yeah.
Why are you doing
I don't understand that.
Why are you doing that? You know what I mean? The last people that are,
Look how much food I have stored up.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
don't
what are
have
you
any guns,
doing?
but because I'm a felon. But let's say I did, why would I say it to you?
Yeah.
It'd be dumb of me to say that. It'd be dumb for anybody. If it's truly, did you buy it truly to protect your family in case something jumped off? Because if that's the real reason, nobody in life should know except you and your loved ones, and that's it.
Well, because no matter how much you house in your house, how long is that going to last you if it really went down that path? 30 days?
Yeah.
60 days until you got to move and find water and find, something else? When the pandemic hit and everything else, I told Justin, I said, if this watch, when sanitation workers are no longer working, be worried. It's because they're going to be picking up as long as there's electricity, as long as there's gas, as long as they're going to be, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be doing the moment garbage begins to build in our local communities, that's a wrap.
No,
because
I never thought of that. But
you look at, or even just water. As far as our water getting pumped over to us, there's got to be electricity.
Oh, water.
Yeah.
And it's just, these are some basic things that it's like, listen, how long can you hold on to those things? And if that's your confidence, and that's the part within I always found it interesting in Hebrews 6, one of the things that says, when are we going to grow past faith?
Yeah.
Where most Sundays, that's what churches are teaching. And Paul, or the writer of Hebrews, is like, when are you going to get that down? That's elementary. When are you going to grow past that?
What's crazy is that in the cities, big cities, and even big towns, to me, Modesto is not a city. It's just a big town here. The grocery stores here do not have enough food to sustain one day, and it's an eerie thought. But we are literally one day from complete chaos. One day, if that. There's not enough food in the city of Modesto to sustain anyone for any city.
Any city.
Any city. And the bigger the city, the worse. You know? And so we are literally one day away from complete chaos. And at that point, once there's chaos, it's tribals. It's tribal. It doesn't matter what the government says. It doesn't matter. It becomes about the weak and the strong, and that's it. You know, and that's it. There's nothing else.
Well, just one more point, just on what you were talking about earlier, as far as like people's health.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that. What are you showing?
What are you showing? Oh, drinking out the toilet? Whoa, wow, that's a brave man.
More power to him.
Yeah, let me see him follow Abraham and do that. Empty tomb, what are you talking about, brother? What script? Yeah, so.
Yeah.
He also said it. Empty Tomb says, where was it? Man, nope. Sorry, lost it.
Depends on the mindset of people around you too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Depends on the mindset of the people. Great time to really get to know your neighbors.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when people live in a big city, they don't know their neighbors.
Yeah.
I remember this whole left and right Democrat, it was jumping off, and people were saying, it was weird because the people in the city, which obviously the cities are very democratic, they were saying, you know what, we'll just cut off all the rural areas of America.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just like, do you realize where food and water come from?
You'd starve, you idiot.
You would starve. Like LA has no water unless it's from the Central Valley. There is no water in LA unless it's from here or the pipeline that comes from like over there by the Grand Canyon. I can't remember exactly where, but there's getting water pipe from there.
Oh,
and water,
the Hoover Dam.
I don't know. Either way, it's
Is it
that water
it's
from
Hoover
there.
Dam?
Huh?
Oh, wait, you said Arizona?
No, to LA.
Oh,
they get two sources of water, major sources from out of state and from here.
Because Hoover Dam's in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, so when the news starts talking about there's a water drought, us here in the valley, dude, we got rivers every 5-mile radius. There's rivers and there's water everywhere. I'm like, you're saying there's a drought in California because LA's taking all our water because we got a lot of water here.
I heard that. I did watch a documentary though that in Hoover Dam there is a Decepticon at the bottom of that being hidden.
I heard there's this cube and it glows.
I know that. I know that. What's his face? Who's the guy who was Aquaman?
Oh, I don't know the dude's name, but I know you're talking about with the long hair.
Yeah, he ended up crashing a car into that Hoover Dam place. Anyways, man, good old Newsom. You see Newsom going over to
Good old
going to red counties?
Red counties?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Targeting red counties.
Yeah, man. This guy, dude, I'm telling you.
And they're responding back.
Yeah, you know what? They're pretty upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're pretty upset. I don't understand why anybody would show up out there to go and acknowledge this man. Like, just because he's coming in, why are you talking to him? He obviously don't care about you. If it wasn't for him protecting us from the Trump administration, he wouldn't be there talking to you. He really wouldn't. And so the thing about it is why do you get your people together to go out there to go talk to him? He don't want to do anything. And so, you guys are talking about the water, and he's saying about what would take years to go ahead. It only took months and blah, 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 blah. Like, he did something. And it's like, bro, stop giving our water away. Yeah. Stop lying to the people and telling us we're in a drought. Stop telling us that.
What's a trip? Because even like, I know, the whole battle between Gavin Newsom, California, and Trump, and everything as far as, the electric cars and electricity and all this stuff. And it's like, most people don't even understand, I don't have my tablet. What states does California get electricity from?
I can't remember.
Because we pipe that in.
Yeah.
Because we don't have sufficient electricity to cover our state. Yeah. And if we were to go all green,
oh man,
the ban that they 2 years ago they did a ban and they fought it in the Bay Area in new houses. They were petitioning it like Berkeley, El Cerrito.
Waterless toilets? Oh no, I wasn't being serious.
No. It was electric water heaters. Everything was, the whole house was electric. It wasn't piped for gas.
Yeah, real smart, huh?
Yeah.
California imports electricity from Northwest and Southwest regions of the United States. Northwest includes Northwest includes Alberta, British Columbia, Idaho, Montana, Oregon, South Dakota, Washington, and Wyoming. Southwest includes Arizona, Baja California. You've been to Baja?
No.
That's small. Baja California, Colorado, Mexico, Nevada, New Mexico, Texas, and Utah.
So because we're wanting to do green conservation, we're making them money. Mm-hmm. Think of how idiotic that is.
Yeah. Carl says when we had all that rain fall last year, they dumped it into the ocean.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
They
the main
reroute
reason was because it was too much water at once. So I'm just like, in the time of drought, you don't think that it's ever gonna rain, and figure it out now. You know what I mean? Even in the book of Genesis, even Joseph was like, hey, there's gonna be 7 years of plenty and 7 years of famine. Let's prepare now that we have plenty for the time of famine. So in California, it's like, dude, all of a sudden it rains and it pours and you don't know what to do with the water. You didn't think years before that we better prepare, because it's not always going to be a drought here. There's going to be a winter where it pours tons and tons of water, and they dumped it all back to the ocean. That's right. It's true. I mean, of course, I'm not a water expert, but I mean, here's the thing. The fact that I'm not a water expert and I know
And you
this,
know that. Well, do you remember the last time when mom and dad almost got evacuated?
Yeah.
And so we were driving, and Justin was, oh gosh, we were young. They were young. They were probably just early teens.
Yeah.
And we were in Stockton. We stayed at Jose and Stephanie's house, and we were coming to go. We came through the Delta. We actually took the side road.
Yeah.
It was open. We were coming in, and I remember Justin goes, "Dad, why is God doing this?" And I said, "Son, do you understand that we live in a swamp? Man thought it was a bright idea to build houses in a community in a swamp.
Yeah.
That if it wasn't for the dams, we'd be underwater.
Yeah, they built dams.
You know, this whole area is it's a swamp. Humanity decided to build here.
Yeah.
God made this as a swamp, as a location of gathering water for the farmlands that makes it very fertile.
Yeah.
But humanity
Which
decided
is
to
why
build.
we're one of the world's agriculture areas.
Exactly. It's very fertile. But, and it's just this whole, thing. We were talking this morning at the house, and I was just sharing with mom and dad because they came by because, we're leaving out of town. And so mom and dad are talking about cloud seeding.
Yeah.
Because they're hearing about it. Because we're talking about, not to jump off subject, but
We've been off subject from the beginning.
I know,
We're supposed to talk about Christmas.
we'll get there.
Oh, I thought that.
But
Sorry.
how are tornadoes created? Hot and cold.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how did we get a tornado at 2:30 on Saturday in San Francisco
Santa Cruz.
or Santa Cruz?
Yeah.
That flipped cars. A lot of them.
Oh, that was man generated.
Do you get what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
It's like how did that happen? Where's the hot air?
Yeah. Fauci.
Fauci.
It's Fauci.
Newsom.
Let's just throw names out there. They seem to do that to to the people we like.
I think
Let's just
Fauci
throw
wanted to
names
give
out there.
Fauci wanted to give Santa Cruz an ouchie.
No, I 100% agree with you, man. I mean, dude, all my life. How old are you?
47.
47, man. Have you ever seen that happen?
Never.
Ever. 47 years.
Not to flip cars.
I've never
No.
seen it, period.
I've seen and heard the last 5 years of funnels.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cloud funnels.
But that's when there's a storm.
No. Yes, I understand.
Funnels that don't even get close to the ground.
Or in the
Exactly.
basement or in the park, you see the garbage kind of getting picked up. That's about it in California. But how do you get the multiplicity of plates moving in earthquakes?
Yeah.
From the Pacific Ocean all the way to Nevada.
Yeah.
Moving through, and then we get a tornado, and it goes back to the drones, and it's kind of like how do you expect me not to think that things are happening,
Yeah.
and that the government is not complicit? It's like, dude. There's too much going out there, man. It's just weird.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I want to thank the United States government for this show happening. Because the reason we even do this is because we were all sitting there talking, and we're just like, for the first time in our life, there's constant something weird happening every single day of the week.
Yes.
It gives us content to talk about. Because if we would have done this 5 years ago, what are we going to talk about?
Nope.
Yeah.
You know, what do we talk about? Like what, the Cabbage Patch doll? I mean, there's nothing.
It's conspiracy theory. Now everyone's like, nope, get that book out because Alex Jones was right.
Yeah, and he got sued for $1 billion. Look
Empty Tube said, that's crazy, bro. I bring that up around some of my family. I'm not invited to next Thanksgiving.
What up?
Perpetuate.
He said, harp and Doppler?
Doppler.
Look into it sometime.
Yeah. I know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
Oh,
me
okay. Yeah, man, it's all conspiracy. I'm telling you, a lot of people are like, man, you sound like a I said, you know what, bro? I don't want to say that I'm a conspiracist, but man, these liberals really screwed my brain up. Like everything is, man, like it's all bad.
Instead of let's just talk, he said, call it let's get weird.
But it's too much to just go unchecked or unnoticed.
Yeah.
You know, because you know what was like just 5 years ago. It was in the back of my mind like, okay, Avengers, Operation Paperclip, right? It's kind of like, okay, I know the story. They're making a movie. And then now you kind of start looking back over the last 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years of movies, and you're like, nah, dude.
Yeah.
No. There was a whole lot more than that.
Yep.
And what do you want us to say? There's no coincidence?
I go back to this. I say this a lot to people. I say, listen, I said, when I was a kid, internet didn't exist. You know, and I remember the first computers. I remember it was a Commodore 64. There was an Atari XL, something 800 XL. There was a few things going on like that. And then I remember they're talking about this dial-up internet that allows you to actually talk to people anywhere around the world. And it was like a big old deal. It was like CompuServe. This was way before AOL. And it was a crazy thing that the internet was the future of the world. And I'm talking, this is now in the 80s, late 80s or mid 80s when I heard about internet. Well, come to find out, the internet was actually part of the government in the 50s, if not the 40s. Fact check me if you want. But internet has existed for about 35, 40 years before we even knew about it. So if we were 40 years behind on understanding the technology of internet, let me say this now. The fact of how technology is growing and growing and growing, you got to understand that you have more power in your phone than the rockets did and the NASA did, you know, back
when they went
then.
to the moon. When they went to the moon.
They had rooms and rooms of these mainframe computers that your phone is more powerful. I say that as to say this, is that if the internet was created in the 40s or 50s, then became known to the public in the late 80s or mid 80s, we're talking a 40-year gap. But now, when things are growing so fast, the chips are growing so fast. I remember buying a home computer, and it was a big old deal because it had 15 megabyte memory in it. That is nothing. I can't even send a picture of my thumbnail with 15 megabytes. And the whole computer had 15 megabytes in the hard drive. So things are just going faster, faster. Chips are getting smaller. The processors are getting faster. So if there was a 40-year gap between internet then and 2024 now, that would be the equivalent of, let's say, 40 years. That would be how many, 2085? That we're going to find out what they have now. But let's accelerate that because of the acceleration of technology. So in actuality, the government could very well have something that we won't know about in our lifetime.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, no doubt. You think these things right here, man, you think these things,
Cell phones?
yeah, you think they weren't around before they popped off?
Yeah, of course they were.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, okay, we've had it long enough. They come up with a new, then they send it out to the public. That's my theory.
Hey,
on
Felipe.
it.
See you.
So Empty Tomb says, and now we hold a little supercomputer in our pockets. Makes you wonder where they get the information from. You know, gonna go get my Santa hat lined with tin foil just to be safe. No kidding.
Carl
There
says-
you go, right there, man. There's your segue.
Yeah.
And
Carl says, oh, yeah, the technology we have is what they allow us to have. They're probably 30. I think they're more than 30 years ahead of us. Yeah, I truly believe the technology now is we won't know about it in our lifetime. Either our children and their adulthood will know or our grandkids.
Go ahead.
ahead.
Well, I'm just going to say real quick. You know they've been cloud seeding for 75 years?
yes, I know
believe
that
that.
now because
Now, yeah.
you showed. I never really paid attention to that, but when you brought it up, I think we talked about that on one of the episodes.
Yeah.
And when you brought it up, I started rabbit holing that night, and yeah, man, I learned quite a bit of them deviants.
So how far they're down the line of information and technology?
Oh, yeah.
75 years of research.
yeah.
And now we're just kind of like, no, that can't happen.
Just like Tony Stark's dad came up with the thing before actually
Yep.
Tony Stark did. That's real life government. I don't mean Tony Stark himself.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
you know, it's
no,
not, yeah,
I
it's
mean,
crazy.
All jokes aside, my children and myself, I told them, I said, you know what's really wild is pay attention to the Back to the Future Part 2 when he goes into the future.
Yeah.
Right? I think, and obviously Empty Tomb or Carl or somebody's going to fact check me on this, but my understanding is the only thing that is not that has not been invented is flying cars, and it probably already has. But the
Dude,
thing-
we just started the segment with it.
we don't.
There's an SUV over in New Jersey right now.
So like we can't buy flying cars, you know what I mean? But the flat screens, the self-tied shoes, the hoverboards, the self-dried jackets, the flat screens, the picture-in-picture, the channel talk to the TV, everything that you see in that, the microwave pizza, you tell it to cook in 10 minutes, boom, you have a full-on pizza in 10 minutes. Everything there.
Yeah.
So, Santa.
Santa.
Do you want to save that or save it for the next one?
Let's save it for the next one. We're already down here. And I'll just
okay.
change the title of this.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
but no, I just
My little one was just saying this yesterday.
But you know, it's really odd because you don't want to be the tinfoil guy, but it's too much to where. And listen, we're not saying we believe every conspiracy theory.
No.
But where there's smoke, there's fire, and you look back, you know, read, you know, as far as read 1984, dude, that was written
In the 50s.
in the 50s.
George Orwell.
Yeah.
I think I have it here.
You know, what's the other one?
Right there. Let's see.
You have it? Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. Dude, and it's creepy, man, when you're listening to it on Audible.
Yeah, George Orwell. Let me see. Where's my close-up? Boom. Oh, you still can't see it. Put it up to the camera. With anyone.
Oh, here, do the side here.
Oh, there it is. Let's see when it was written. Supposedly when he wrote it, not supposedly, when he wrote it, he was talking about the future of 1984. But he wrote this, let me
I think it was
see.
the early 50s.
Let's see exactly. Yeah, I want to say the 50s, but I just want to get it correct here. 1949.
Wow, even later.
This book was written in 1949 about the future in 1984. George Orwell wrote it. What's crazy is the fact that at that time, clearly, what's it called? What are the books called that we can get on our phones?
Kindle?
Kindles.
Yeah, Kindle
Or
books. Yeah, but
Audible?
Audible.
No, not Audible. Kindle's just a company.
Yeah.
But what are they called?
Ebooks.
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 This talks about ebooks in 1949.
Oh, really?
Yes, because basically
I don't remember.
books,
Yeah, it's been a while since.
paper books were in the book. He says in the future, paper books are going to be illegal and a felony in the future because the government can't control paper books. So everybody had to read books on a screen. In 1949, he wrote this.
That's crazy.
And your televisions are going to have cameras.
Yeah.
So
Monitoring
the
you.
government can monitor you and hear you say, and hear what you say. And if you say certain trigger words, the government will know to listen in. 1949, he said, "This is what the future is going to be like." That's insane.
Well, let me.
Where? I'm sorry.
No, the drones part. I know we're going back.
Yeah.
But I'll say this with the drones is this. That's the part, because we talked about military and all these other, ops, terrorists, everything else. My thing was with this administration, are they looking for terrorists? Or are they looking at citizens, and in particular types of citizens?
I believe that this administration is all about population control in America. And I believe that they're always looking at us in any possible way that they can control the population. That's what they've done to my brain. Like,
exactly.
And you know
the possibility.
What? And this is why I tell my children this. This is why I say I love that Robert Kennedy is taking over the health, because we're going to start getting food back. Because these dummies, you know what I'm saying, for the
talking about The View.
Okay, well, them also. But the thing about it is they figured out population control is through the food.
Of course.
It's through the food. And again, that has been written. I forget who it was, but that has been written many, many, many years ago. Nixon was talking about it. Before him, they were talking about it. And they figured it out. And then they got in cahoots with pharma. So if we can kill you with the food, then you got to go take the medication.
Until you die.
We'll injure you with the food, and then we'll kill you with the medication.
That's a conspiracy theory, Tino.
You're right. And so, but I mean, I don't know anybody who's going to disagree with me. So yes, I think that this administration is always trying to do something. And to Empty Tomb
Whoopi disagrees with you.
Thank God. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what's his face from Cheers. What's his name? Ted Danson was thinking when he married that woman. But anyways.
I don't know. Poor guy.
I know, dude. Like, you must have been on a good one, bro.
It felt like he got married and then had all white hair. Like, really fast.
Yeah. That's what we call a sick one in the streets. You know what I mean? Empty
You know what it was? He probably married her right before she got her income tax.
I mean, she just probably did Jumping Jack Flash, and she made a lot of money. Sister Act or whatever.
Sister.
Empty Tomb says, you think AI is playing a part with the whole drone thing? Don't want to go backwards. Just curious. I do.
Know. I don't know how it would play into it.
Because they screwed up by making it. AI is gonna do what we saw in
Skynet,
in the Slappers movie. What was that? iRobot. Like, it's gonna start thinking on its own, dude. It's gonna become a danger to us.
Think of that, Skynet. Think of Terminator.
No, I'm gonna have to go watch it now.
Yeah, and I
forgot all about Terminator, but yeah, I was thinking the Slapper movie, iRobot.
Yeah, that's Terminator was in the 80s.
Slapper, I get it.
It was in the 80s. Smith. Yeah.
So
it took me a second to get it.
There's a dream I had about a year ago that I'm kicking myself for not documenting it, writing it down, dating it, and putting it in an envelope. Because now I'm starting to hear talks. In my dream, without going into the full details because it'll take too long. What happened? What'd I miss?
I'm sorry, man.
Oh, I thought I missed something funny.
Carl said one of the first things RFK is going to do to Maha is he's going to reduce the 5-second rule to 3 seconds.
Oh, I seen that on Twitter.
Who's Maha?
Make America healthy again.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Instead of 5 seconds, it's 3.
Oh, he dropped the food. 5-second rule.
So I had this.
So he already dropped it from 10 seconds? Hold on, am I behind?
I had this dream, this crazy dream, which the details don't even matter. But in the dream, everybody thought the world was ending because the sky had all these stuff flying over us and this and that. It was crazy. People were scrambling. People were running. There was explosions. There was lasers. These things floating around. And come to find out, it was an illusion. It was holograms. So somehow the government, in my dream,
like the Spider-Man movie?
No, I don't
The
know.
new one?
But in my dream, the sky was a giant hologram, and it looked so real that people thought the end was near.
Like the Truman effect. You remember that?
Yeah, but this is a hologram.
Yeah.
And in the dream, I figured out that I didn't say the government, but something was causing that to cause believers to not believe that when Jesus came, the world wouldn't believe it in the dream. So they figured out a way how to make the sky an entire screen to make you believe what they want to believe. Because in my dream, there was like almost spaceships floating around, but I was a Christian in the dream. So I'm like, that is not real. I don't know what that is, but that is not, I don't know if that's demonic. I don't know this, but in the dream, we came to find out that it was a hologram. So I say that, and maybe I'll document it now, but it's already being said, supposedly, that they're already playing with stuff like that. And the fact that I dreamed that a year ago.
Well, at some point in time, we have to touch on what we believe the origin of, as far as aliens. I'd love to be able to touch on that.
On
here.
what?
Like the origin of aliens or
From Mexico?
appearance.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man. I was trying. I didn't
Not our
wanna do
cousin,
it, but that's
not our primos. I'm talking.
That's exactly.
What?
I'm sorry.
Operation Blue Beam?
I
Blue Beam,
just looked
Operation
that
Blue
up
Beam.
right now.
So I dreamed it a year ago without knowing nothing of this.
But do you get what I'm saying? Just to have that conversation, it's too late here as far as right now. But to be able to discuss, because I do believe at some point in time we will see something of that nature.
Alien life forms?
Of what?
That will be, yeah. I believe that we will actually.
What are you talking about?
Alien life forms.
Oh.
But see, they're going to.
Well, Ezekiel saw stuff like that.
That's my point.
Yeah,
is
Ezekiel saw
that it? Because can you imagine what would take place in today's, especially right now in today's culture society, if aliens were to appear into what and everyone's thinking ET or whatever, but what that would mean in the biblical context of what that is, and because now you put that into as far as Genesis 6. You start talking about Watchers. You start talking about the Nephilim. You start talking, all these different, in a broader conversation. But there's no doubt in my mind that governments and government officials and kings of old have communicated with intelligent evil over the course of a very long period of time.
Yeah, of course.
That they would describe as, alien.
Yeah. But even the prophet Ezekiel, in case you guys don't know, you should. If you're on this channel, that means you follow us. You follow the stuff that we preach in the Word of God. But Ezekiel said he saw some strange things that, you got to understand. He can describe things the best he can in his capability of what he knew. And he saw this thing floating that was, it was wheels and a wheel inside of a wheel, and it was flashing with light, and it was moving like sideways, up and down, and any which way the eyes would go, it would go in that direction. Mm-hmm. So whatever it is Ezekiel saw, it's not far-fetched to say that we're going to see something or things like that, So just saying, yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that.
That's all I want to say about that.
That's all I want to say about. That's all I got to say about that.
Well,
So-
we're hitting. We're almost at an hour.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up the subject of Madison,
Who?
Oh, I don't know.
Madison, Wisconsin, and
the shooting?
the shooting that took place at the church.
Can I share this and then we'll go into that? Real quick, guys. Only because right before we went live, I saw this huge stack of mail on my desk. In case you don't know, we support, we have a prison ministry where we upload our Bible studies and our Spanish services and our English service and a podcast every single week in all the 50 states. We have reached so far, I don't know how many thousands of inmates that watch us. They're being saved, they're getting edified, they're being discipled, they're learning, they're opening their Bibles. And if that's something you want to help and be a part of, because originally I had said this, I said, there's no way House of Rest can support that. It's really expensive. And I said, I want to find, a few people to pledge. And man, people came and helped and pledged and this and that, but as you know, just with every ministry, you know what happens when you try to pick up for missions? Everybody's like, I'll give. You're always going to have people slowly drop off and not give or not be able to give, or maybe they were excited at the moment, and we really want to keep this going. I want to share with you just this week. This is the first stack. Look at this. How do you get closer here? Let's see.
And you're so sideways so they can see the thickness.
Look at this. These are letters this week from people saying, thank you. I just got saved.
Thank you, Empty Tomb, for putting that up.
Or thank you. I just got baptized. My chaplain just baptized me. Or thank you. I came back to the Lord. Stumbled across your thing on my tablet, and I rededicated my life to the Lord. And everything I'm learning from you it's been different. Over and over and over testimony. This is just 1 week, guys. We've been doing this for the last few months. We have boxes of mail. And I think a lot of times people say, well, I don't like tithing to a church because the pastor's going to buy a fancy car or this or that. There's other people that say, you know what, I don't really do that, but I love to give to something specific. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say this, if you ever want to give to something that is fertile, I mean, literally, I think I added it up. It came down to what we pay a month according to how many viewers we get. It's costing basically 12 cents to reach every inmate that watches us on every week. That's what it breaks down, to the full cost. Because I average that we watch, it's about 20,000 views to whether it's a podcast or a sermon. We divided that 20,000 on every episode almost into what it costs. It's $1,500 a month for Pando. That's just Pando. It's $12,300 or $1,300 every 3 months for Edovo. That's a lot of money.
It's a little over $400 a month.
But when I break it down, it comes down to the amount of inmates that watch us. It comes down to we're paying 12 cents
per month.
I think. No, per episode for each inmate to watch this. And it's just doing so effectively. So all I'm saying, like Empty Tomb says, it's good soil. You want to give to a place that's really going to have a huge turnover of salvations? Mm-hmm. This is it. That's what I'm saying. Because you could say, well, let's put money into evangelism on the street. How much turnover are you getting on that? Of course I get it. One soul that repents, all of it. I understand that. But I'm just saying this is a place where the turnover of salvations is so massive. You want to make your dollar count? This is how to make your dollar count. And if you want to be a supporter of it, all you got to do is go to our website, and all the instructions are in there, and we'll get a hold of you. And every week I give an update to everybody that does give. I send you an update of an email, so I even show you the screenshot of how many views, how many salvations, and all that. I just wanted to throw that out there, guys. I didn't mean to, but when we started live, I saw this whole stack on my desk, and I just thought I would talk about it because I don't think I talk about it enough. So anyways, Madison.
You know what? He's not going to do it, so I'm going to do it. This ministry is so important because a lot of these men, it's men and women, correct? Men and women, they get lost in the society because of the things that they did, and then people start to look down on them. And the problem is that if you are truly a follower, not a churchgoer, but a follower of Jesus, these are the things that you're supposed to be helping out in. And the thing about it is like Pastor here is giving them fire. He doesn't sugarcoat nothing. He doesn't he doesn't water things down. He gives it straight to the fact of the word. And the thing about it is these men and women who are criminals at this point in their life, that's exactly what they need. Now, this is what he won't do that I said that I'm going to do. I think it was last week. Nope. Not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before, a man showed up and he was in the front and he was worshiping. Guy caught my eye. He was a little bit too excited for me, but you know what? That's just me being on guard because I've seen a lot of stuff in the church. And come to find out, Pastor called him up, and you know what he is? He's a Pando man. He found Pastor David in the house of rest off of Pando. Is this correct?
Yeah.
And he ended up showing here. He's from San Jose, right?
Yeah.
San Jose, for those that don't know, is what? About an hour and 30?
If that, little, yeah.
A little bit further?
No, a little closer maybe. An hour
Okay,
15,
so we'll say about an hour 30.
Depends on what day.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. What time of the day, right? Okay, so let's just say about an hour and a half. And this man woke up so excited to go to church. And then he said that he felt a tugging on the heart that he had to be here. And that when he got here, I mean, I'm not saying anything about it. I'm just saying what the man said. He felt like he was coming to see a celebrity. And the thing about it is he felt that way because he felt the calling from Pastor David here of what he's doing for these people that are locked up. Because he's showing them love, because he knows firsthand what it is to be saved behind the walls. So the thing about it is like when you think about that, trust me when I say that there's people that are showing up. There's people that are starting a new walk. There's people that are understanding that their life doesn't need to continue when they get outside those walls. I love one of the things that you say is those, what is it, 85%? Of inmates have a release date.
They have a release date.
Would you rather them come out better Christians or better criminals? And so the thing about it is that's what he won't say, but that's what somebody like myself is here for. Because the Bible says itself, I believe it's in the Proverbs, that says, do not boast about yourself, let others do that for you.
Yeah.
So I'm boasting about this man that he gives fire. He doesn't care about your feelings. He cares about the disobedience to the Lord, and he cares about what he needs to do. So that's all I got to say about that.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. All right, Madison.
I'm as you guys were talking, and I seen on part of the feed. Let me see.
Oh, Felipe? But Felipe saying there was a shooting here and the news didn't even cover it?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even hear about it.
Me either. I didn't even know about that.
I just looked it up. December 4th, there was a shooting in Oroville. 2 kindergartners were wounded.
Oh, I did hear about that. Abraham told me.
Yeah. And it
was up north,
yeah.
past Sac. Yeah. I think, right?
Yeah, that's over in the Vills.
But we get a subway situation last week.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
And the whole United States is in an uproar because we want to talk about that.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
And there's a freed Marine, but there's children getting killed in Christian schools.
Yeah.
And it ain't even on the front feed of my YouTube from yesterday.
Yeah.
I came across it by accident
Yeah, me too.
later on in the day. And just out of respect, just for going back real quick, for the family in Madison. Yesterday, there was a student, a 15-year-old student.
This is a state where Walz is the governor, correct?
Yeah. No, that's Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
And but Madison is a very liberal city.
Okay.
And so the shooter was identified as Natalie Samantha Roop. Now she's 15 years old. She killed apparently herself, took her life, shot a teacher and another fellow student, dying. I think they died their critical condition, and 6 others that were injured as well. And I'm sitting there yesterday. It was later in the day. I didn't see this till probably 9 or 10 o'clock last night.
Wow.
Because it didn't even come up on my feed. I didn't hear about it anywhere else. And it was like,
what was the reason to do that? Have they found out? Was she a student there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
she was a student, from my understanding, and maybe you can find something on there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I started looking at Oroville.
Oh, okay.
Felipe says she was a radical feminist young Antifa.
I know that they found some documents. I haven't heard the release of those documents of what maybe they have today. I was working today, so I don't know. I didn't get a chance to. But that was one of my questions was she, where was she at? Was she, in what was her mindset and why was she wanting to? Because in her diary entries, she had plotted and planned that event.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So she plotted to kill herself and only killed 2 people?
I don't know about plotting to kill herself, but she
more. But I'm just saying that's weird that you're going to plot that long just to kill 2 people.
Well, she wanted to kill whoever. I don't know how many.
Oh, she did.
Yeah,
She had a handgun, right?
Yes, that she had in her diary entries. it was premeditated.
Yeah.
Now, was she targeting anyone? I haven't seen if that was released or not.
Like, does she hate that teacher?
Yeah, that part I don't know.
Yeah.
I did watch some of the interviews of the kids.
Yeah.
I think was it a kindergartner or first grader that called 911
I don't know.
originally?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That was one of the news reporters that said, as far as they reported last night, that I think it was a kindergartner or a first grader.
Yeah.
Because of cell phones, they called 911.
Are they downplaying it now? Are they downplaying
Second
it
grader.
Second grader?
because of what? There's different reasons. I don't necessarily think it's because completely it's a Christian school. It could be because who knows? There's politics in everything. You know what I mean? So I'm just curious because
I don't know, but let's look back historically at those events that happened at Christian schools,
Yeah.
and how much information is still not released.
yeah,
And how much information is kept under wraps. Why in California? I didn't even hear this
yeah.
in Orville.
Well, like Felipe said, she wanted to kill all men and black people. So that's a good question because the leader, I'm getting the leader, the teacher she shot was a man, I'm guessing then?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, where did I see that? Go ahead. I'll let you.
Yeah, no, that's just, these are things that honestly I don't know too much about. I don't know. Everything being with the drones, I mean, I can't get away from the drones. Like, after a few videos that I watch, I'm like, okay, let me find something else to look at. And it's almost nearly impossible right now in these last few days. And the fact that it happened, so it gets drowned out. This story gets drowned out because, and the thing is, after you watch 4 or 5 drone videos, it's all the same clips. It's the same clips with a different commentator. So again, did it happen? Is it getting squashed because it was a Christian school? Is it getting squashed because this drone thing is a bigger story, swallowing up that story? Is it because of politics and people are going to, because they know that this was an Antifa person that hated men, just different reasons, or maybe a little bit of everything.
Well, I'm reading this article. It says the communities expressed profound grief over the incident. A candlelight vigil was held at the state capitol to honor the victims. President Joe Biden condemned the attack as shocking and inconceivable, urging Congress to enact stricter gun laws to prevent such tragedies.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm like, dude,
How much more strict can you get?
yeah.
Hello, Sister Lisa.
And it's just this perpetual cycle of just, I guess, okay, let me back up here. The reason why it bothers me so much to asking, like why and all those other things, is it takes me back to that book from Barbara Walters, not the Barbara Walters we grew up watching 2020, but she wrote a book, and it's called How Civil Wars Begin.
Oh, yeah.
And I've talked about this here.
Yeah.
Is
that where I heard about it from you? Okay.
If you get a chance to read her book, but more importantly, go listen to her lectures that she teaches in the universities.
Yeah.
Because it started as a think tank for the CIA of looking abroad and going, okay, how can we determine what nations are going to fall under civil war and which ones are at that edge so we know ahead of time?
Yeah.
So this started 15 years ago, if not plus. And when she writes the book, the conclusion that she gets to, that when she starts seeing when the CIA, the think tank, starts saying that the United States is on this map now of possible revolts or civil war, the conclusion they come to, and they're teaching this in the universities, is the two things that were a detriment to democracy.
Yeah.
One was greater than the other. The second was of the least was MAGA. Specifically call out MAGA. That they are the detriment to democracy. But the highest level in their think tank of number one, the number one culprit is as far as against democracy is Christians. Because Christians, push come to shove, will not bend their values or will not bow to anything else apart from Scripture, and that is a problem in their eyes.
Yeah.
So then I put this into context, and you see
that's
this.
why communists took religion out, for that very reason.
Exactly. So then you see these episodes that take place, whether it's church shootings, school shootings, and Christian, why Look at the amount of times our people are targeted. And yet it's hush.
Yeah.
But again, you get George Floyd.
Yeah.
You get, and and this is the part that boils me. This is why when we were talking about racism within the Christian community, let's think. Let's think and not get just shoved down this stream path, of thinking because of culture and society.
Yeah.
But let's think about what's happening here. And as a Christian community, a lot of the times we stay quiet too long, because it's like, well, it's on faith. I agree with that. And we should. I'm not saying protest. I don't necessarily, saying it. But we do have a voice. And we need to begin to look at Biden's great solution is guns. What about the mindset of what's being fed through these people and these kids? Is she, like we said, is she racist? Was it mental health? What's going on? And that's, to me, that's the issue. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think we live in a dark world, a fallen state. If you want to build heaven on earth, it's never going to work. It's never going to happen. This is why we have to trust in Christ. We have to follow after Christ. This world will never be perfect. There's always, Cain killed Abel. That's always going to happen. You're never going to stop it. You could take away guns and people have knives. You take away knives, people have rocks. You're going to take away rocks, people have their bare hands. It's never going to stop, because it's been going on since the very beginning of time. And there's nothing we can do. And all we can do is try to prevent it and find ways to prevent it and watch and be vigilant and figure out better ways to have safety at schools. But unfortunately, you can't stop it. Mm-hmm. You can't, and that's just, it can get very sad when you really start to think about that.
Think of what John says in Revelations over and over again. And they laid down their life.
Yeah.
Over and over again. And they laid down their life.
Yep.
And ultimately, to the Christian, one, it gets me riled up. It gets me upset and everything else. But at the same time, here is this reality that sometimes the Christian community wants to avoid.
Yeah. Pain.
And the reality is, for this to be what it is, we have to embrace what is coming.
There's a part in American Me when what's the main Santana, the main guy, after the wedding and that girl, he was seeing that girl there, and right before he gets rearrested, she says, "You're two people." And that I've never shared this. That hit me so hard because she says, "You're two people." In one end, it's all about La Raza and our people and our culture and our heritage. She goes, but the other one, you ain't nothing but a dope dealer. She goes, there's no hope. There's no hope for our neighborhoods. And she starts crying, and it hit me because I'm just like, I remember watching that movie as a dope dealer that would say things about, I'm all about the raza, about my culture, my cultura, my people, and Pancho Villa, and all this and that. And then she goes, you're nothing but a effing dope dealer. And the fact is that's the world.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about bettering the world and bettering and protecting our kids and this and that, whatever. But unless you have Christ in your heart, man, all that stuff it's meaningless. It's like the other day I was watching these Hollywood people that there was this movie that supposedly is about child trafficking from Mexico. It follows the story of this little Mexican kid and he gets trafficked and you have all these movie stars in the beginning. And I was surprised. Like 10 of them saying, you got to watch this movie. We got to make people aware of this. Mm-hmm. And the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, how do I know you're not involved in this, dude? Yeah. Because Hollywood is nothing but a pool of vipers, and I don't know. It's just crazy. I don't know. All I know is that we just need to seek out God.
I know when I was younger, I fell into La Raza. I literally came up with the song.
Yeah.
La
This-
Raza.
This is for the raza?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I literally came up with that. You know, I'm that old. So the thing about it is, you know, and then running with the neighborhood and stuff like that and being a wannabe and all blah, blah, blah.
Did you write it on a Sunday afternoon?
I went to Lake, man. So anyways, you know, I love the culture that my heritage is from. But the thing about it is like, I would love to share that with my children.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like, hey, man, be proud. You know what I mean? Don't be brown and proud. Just be proud that you have some of the best food in your culture from around the world. You know what I mean? When they ask you, like,
Well, between them and us and Chinese, right?
No.
Italian food is good too, though.
No. When you're asked the question, you know, you're stranded on the desert island. You're stranded on an island for the rest of your life. You only get one food. Everybody says tacos.
I don't know, man.
You know what I mean? So anyways, all jokes aside, I grew up with it. Today, it is, like you said, it's about Jesus, right?
Yeah.
But don't be ashamed of, you know, like,
No.
I'm not even trying to teach them about, you know, being Mexican or, because they're not. They're Americans. You know, they're born here. And the thing about it is like, dude, don't stop. Don't pay attention to it. Be proud that your culture, your bloodline runs all the way back over here. But the thing about it is go forward. Go do this. Go do that. Break all of what we were talking about last week. Break all of those stereotypes on those from those people.
Yeah, it does, Adam.
And so the thing about it is like you gotta. Yes, that kind of stuff is. Again, it's very stupid. But this is sad, bro. Oroville, I couldn't even look at the Madison. I couldn't really find anything about that. But
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the point
great.
we were
That-
saying.
yeah.
You can't find it. That's the
Why?
point.
this says that a 6-year-old suffered 2 gunshots wounded. The sheriff said the 6-year-old suffered 2 gunshot wounds that caused eternal injuries, while the 5-year-old was shot once. It also says down here that, oh man, where did it go? Honia, whatever the name is, said the gunman was dropped off by an Uber driver for a fake meeting with a school administrator. So they showed up, walked in, said they had a fake meeting, made their way in, and then did whatever they did.
What did they kill themselves?
That it doesn't
Or did
say.
they arrest the person?
The shooter? I don't know.
Yeah, this doesn't say. But then again,
see.
you know, you get into. It also says, but the shootings have done little to move the needle on national gun laws. Firearms were the leading cause of death among children in 2020 and 2021. I don't know. As the kids say, I call cap on that one because.
He shot himself.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what a coward would do, right?
Yep.
You know,
At least that's what the BBC is reporting. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm reading off AP. I was looking for
Yeah.
BBC, but I couldn't find it. They're somewhat more dependable, but this is just sad. These last 2 topics were sad. It was funner talking about the drones. This is just angry. This makes me angry.
We could talk about drones again.
It's just no. I agree with you, man. It drives me nuts, bro. It really, really does.
Like, why hush? Why the hush? That's the part. It's
I agree with you.
you know that's frustrating, and it's not that, you know, because then it's this, you know, it's like, oh, it's our people. That's not what I'm. It's just why the hush. Mm-hmm. That's the question.
You know what's
Yeah.
scarier answer to that is that, see, the news is in the business to make money, to get views.
Yeah.
That's why I love the saying is hospitals exist to fill those beds. Jails exist. So a lot of times we got to think of
business.
it that way. And the fact is this, is the news is not there to give you news. They're there to give you the news that's going to get you to watch them over anybody else. So what if the real answer is the fact that we have become so insensitive to school shootings that it doesn't even budge a listener or a viewer?
Yeah.
You know, their job is not to tell us the news. Their job is to get the most views.
Well, you know, and what's frustrating that, and I didn't realize this until 2016 election. I didn't realize this. how little Christians are involved
Yeah.
Meaning what?
in politics or even concerning culture, because to them it's like, well, I'm not even worried about that. I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna trust God and have faith.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not, I'm not gonna talk politics, dude. If you don't talk politics, how much of the Bible you gonna rip out?
Yeah.
It is inundated with government structures and politics, and God intertwining within humanity and all of that fabric work.
Caesars.
And it's just like, it doesn't make any sense. And for Christians to just kind of detach themselves, and I'm guilty of that for a long time too. And because I know next episode we're going to talk about Christmas and different things.
Well, 2016, when I voted Trump, you couldn't understand why.
Yeah, and I told you I didn't say I was like, dude, I don't know. I don't know if I trust this dude. And my biggest thing in my end was I didn't think he was a racist.
Yeah.
I didn't, because to me it didn't make sense. I was like, dude, you know how many rap videos I've seen this dude on? It didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So I didn't buy that line. To me was like, are we sure we want someone who's never worked in politics? How well will that go?
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. But in 2015, that was my mindset.
Yeah.
Like,
I get it.
how's that going to work? And that was the big thing. No, just that was my disagreement. I didn't have a problem with him.
Yeah.
It was, but when we talk, I was like, I don't know, but I didn't pay attention. Yeah. And I told you, I don't know until things begin to change.
For me, it was a no. Okay, so since we're switching that way, for me, it was a no-brainer.
In our last few minutes.
Yep. For me, it was a no-brainer in 2016 because Obama, second term, is what got me involved into the politics. I've said this before.
I remember the incident. I wasn't for Obama, but I remember the one incident. I'll share it with you right now.
I remember
I'm interested because I wasn't paying attention at that time.
In 2015 or 2012, when he got reelected, I was like, nope. And I voted against him in that because I couldn't stand all of what he was doing for the free, and I didn't even know anything. I just didn't like that my money was going to people with no ambition, and they were giving this, and they were giving this, and they were giving this, and I couldn't stand it. So then that's what got me started into looking into politics. So I talked to somebody who knew it. I didn't start looking for myself. I didn't start reading this and reading that. I talked to somebody who was very, very involved, a veteran, Air Force, so a smart, intelligent man, right? And then the killer thing is he was a black man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because back in that time, it was like, oh, I'm black, I'm for Obama. You know what I mean? And that's what I heard a lot at. And I was over in Southside Stockton. So right over there off of Ralph and Airport and all that kind of stuff. So that's just what it was. So then when Trump came up, I thought it was funny. You know what I mean? Never once did I think he was going to make it as far as he did. I thought it was. I was like, oh, Trump doing Trump things.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's all I took
Trump
it as.
doing Trump things, right? Because, again, I've said this before.
It was a publicity deal.
I know.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I've heard of Donald Trump all my life.
Yeah.
All my life. But then when he got as far as he got, and then Hillary was running against him, I was like, oh, Obama out? Hillary in? No way, bro. Trump is my man. I did not see Trump doing what he did his first 4 years.
Dude, I didn't even hear Pizzagate or any of that stuff until 19.
I want to share why I switched up and even paid attention to politics in the beginning. Is Obama became president, I was in prison still. I think his second term, I was just out, so I wasn't paying attention at all.
No, you were out in his first term.
No. I remember watching him in prison, watching him do speeches
no,
and
but I'm
stuff.
saying at the end of his first term.
Yeah, but I mean voting.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't vote because I was in prison. And then the second time, when did he become president the second time? What year was that?
2012.
I was still in federal probation, so I couldn't vote, right? But when I turned against, I didn't have an issue with him. I didn't know much about him, but I'll tell you when that became a problem is when he colored the White House rainbow.
I remember that day.
This is why. I said, you know what? I understand we live in in a world without God. I get it. You know what I mean? I'm not the Christian that wants everybody and force them into Christian ways. I don't. But I always saw the White House as a neutral place.
So you don't want to start any crusades?
The separation of church and state, to where regardless of how people hate Christians or people serve God, the White House was the White House. It was unbiased. It was our government. That's how I always pictured it. I flipped on Obama when he made that whole thing rainbow. That's when I said, you know what? I'm done. This dude's nuts. So then why and why I didn't like Hillary and why I like Trump, even though to me Trump was the cool guy, because I remember E40 rapping about him. I remember he was on Home Alone. I remember he's the rich guy. So I didn't have an issue with Trump.
No,
but here's the problem though. When Hillary ran, because I have always I never followed politics, but I followed military stuff. And the fact that she let an ambassador and an embassy fall, that is when I said, there is no way I will vote for this crazy woman. There is no way, because she has no respect for our military, and I was raised to respect the military. So because of that, I voted for Trump. But then I started to get a little bit deeper. But that's my reasoning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
I don't know if you knew any of that.
No, I did.
All
I
the
did.
background
Was it
story.
Benghazi?
Yeah.
And then all the background story of all the hiding, everything that she did with all the women that Bill was seeing, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer for me, man.
Yeah.
But see, I just didn't. It to me at that time, it was overwhelming to try to dive down that path.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, dude, that's exhausting, And I just didn't have a reason. But I do remember when I remember the day when that photo came up on Facebook.
The rainbow?
The rainbow on the White House. I remember that, distinctly. And, but I didn't hear about anything as far as what are you looking at?
I was looking at the time.
Oh, and I've got a timer on right here.
Yeah, we're about an hour and 30 right now.
And so, but I didn't pay attention at that time. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And like I said, I didn't hear about some of that stuff with Hillary. I heard about Benghazi, not just lightly, but I didn't connect the dots until 2019, which was already, now I'm starting to sway a little bit. Yeah. And then when everything hit in 2020, that's what for me was the floodgates, because now I'm watching everything in real time.
Yeah.
Because it sped up to a place at that point was like, dude, this is
But the Benghazi thing, they allowed the people there to parade the ambassador naked's body through the streets.
Yeah.
And the whole time she knew and could have sent somebody, and nothing happened. That is a spit in the face to our military. And I like what he says. He said he showed his true colors, literally.
Yeah.
Obama and Michael, they showed their true colors. Michelle.
Oh, Big Mike.
Rain bomber.
Yeah.
Rain bomber.
So yeah, man, we're gonna
Big Mike and Obama.
We're gonna
Big
close
Mike.
this. It's already in an hour and 30 minutes. I know that you got a trip coming tomorrow, so you got some stuff to do. And but man, this is a great conversation once again. If this is something you like, it's every single Tuesday. If you don't or can't be a monthly supporter of this channel, so you can comment, at the very least, you know what's free is to subscribe.
Hit
Just
like
subscribe.
Button. Hit the like button.
Yeah, hit the like button, share it, subscribe, because if you subscribe, then you will get the notification when we go live next Tuesday or the following Tuesday. I know a lot of you guys liked when we had our spouses on. So we are going to be doing that coming into the new year, or the first Tuesday after the new year.
The 7th.
Yeah, on the 7th, we're going to have our spouses. We're not going to do it on the couches over there, because I don't know if you remember, but coming back here, we had all kinds of technical issues because we had so we're just going to put 6 chairs around this table and not go through that craziness again. So anything else? Last words?
Hey, well, you know what, man? I'm gonna plug the prison ministry, man. Support the prison ministry, man.
Yeah, go to the website.
We need it.
houseofrestchurch.com. Click the prison ministry. Become a partner in that. And it is good soil to be able to sow seed into that. It truly is changing lives. So many of us give toward all kinds of different things, and maybe there's some are good, maybe some are not. But the fact is this, right, is that a lot of times when you give towards something, maybe 30% of your money actually goes to the actual cause, But here's the thing: when you give to this, it's 100% of your money that's going to the prison ministry. It doesn't get swallowed up by the church. It doesn't go to the church electricity or nothing. It goes straight to Pando and Idovo so we can reach people in the prisons. You're getting the biggest bang for your spiritual bucks, honestly, and you are helping to reach souls.
And one last thing. Last week we had a couple comments, or I think it was just some good feedback.
Yeah.
And just for those of you that that are posting on us, or you want to post on the chat, leave your question, leave your comment. I know there was some that just kind of put a comment on there. We appreciate it. We appreciate the feedback. And at the same time, one of the things is as a grace to us, we're not news reporters.
Nope.
That's
Far
not
from it.
Yeah, we're not claiming to be that. So we may have information, and that's why even on the chat we'll repeat. And if you can correct us on the time, if we're off, or maybe there's some information that we're lacking, throw it out there. Don't we want you to participate with us and grow, because we're learning as well. At the same time, we're trying to track all this live information as much as we can, and we want your help. We invite it. And to be able to just come in and sharpen us as well in what we're trying to do.
Well, there's a Janice Walker last week that said you're good speakers, but you need details, and that's kind of I'm gonna go off what you're saying. Is the fact is this show, we're not journalists, we're not trying to be. I'm a pastor of a church in Modesto, California. That's it. You know what I mean? And I serve the Lord. But here's the thing: we wanted to create an environment where just regular guys talk about the regular stuff that we all have access to on news media, news, or whatever else. We're just three guys, and we're just like, let's just talk.
Having a barbershop conversation.
Let's just talk. Nobody's trying to be an expert. I'm not trying to be a journalist. I'm not no Candace Owens trying to get into finding out who your grandmama's babysitter's cousin was.
We're not ordering birth certificates.
Although I'm very, very grateful that you did that, Candace.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah, that is good. It was good.
Yeah. So, but when we find out what the drones are, you guys are going to know what the drones are too. And then we just talk about it. You know what I mean? That's all we are. So, but thank you guys. God bless you. Have a great night.
Peace.
All right.